G'day, Matt from Down Under here. Just wanting to share a bit of work and tinkering I've been doing around with some 3D printing, namely some engineering materials. Been trying this out. This is a 31mm prop, 60mm frame conversion of a whoop, and it's a bit of a ripper. There's a couple of videos already up there. This is high temperature nylon with carbon fibre, and I've sprayed them in acrylic so I can handle them post-print. This one's been very strong, hasn't broken at all. Really impressed with this. Using the plastic and the material science behind the plastic into a ring design instead of a traditional X. It's really, really strong. Pushing on it there, strong pushing on it there. It sort of acts against itself. Great. Trialing different materials. This one is regular nylon glass fiber, so that's got pretty stiff there, pushing on it. When you move it and stuff, there's a little bit of play, but nothing like loosey-goosey on a whoop frame. This is the PAHT-CF, or the high temperature nylon with carbon fiber. This has been great to print with. Look at that, mad detail. So strong, totally not PLA plus, ABS, PETG, nothing like those materials. It's been fun. These are a little side project, an online person into FPV, Drum God is designing these. Going to build these up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see those built and flying. Cool little build there. What I'm looking at today though is not this bugger, but trying out a 3-inch. I've got a few different variations of the frame here. Just looking at them off camera. One of them's the broken one. There's the broken one. So a few different designs, a few different materials, the same thing. The regular nylon glass fiber and then the high temperature nylon carbon fiber. Again, the black ones are all being spray painted in a clear acrylic just so I can handle them. These have gone through few designs. If I stack them up side by side, this is 3 different designs I've gone through. You can sort of see there different thicknesses, different play on aerodynamics. These ones, these thinner ones, sort of look nice, feel nice, but they do suffer. So this one's had about, I don't know, maybe about 20 packs through it, 1S build, and finally succumbed to some forces on the motor mount. So taking the lessons I learned from this one and this design of the thicker, mainly circular tube, I pulled that out onto this one and I'm trying a new design there. So this video will go around the build of this, and also as a bonus, because it is a pretty special build, I'm trialing one of these babies, the Fractal Engineering SP8 all-in-one. So this is a pre-release sort of beta model, and that's empty. That's bloody useful. Alright, so this is the all-in-one. It's in 2 parts. The speed controller and the the speed controller and the flight controller. Here we are putting the USB socket into the flight controller portion. Bit of assembly required, but you know, we'll get there. Lining it all up, getting all the data pins on there. You don't need to put the USB on it. You can just use those 4 connections there if you want to put a JST connector like the Beta FPV boards do. Solder, solder, solder. Now these boards need to be sandwiched together. Bit of a pain in the ass, but it is a short run prototype with undeniable features with AM32, 1S, a full-on proper 2.5 amp plus 5 volt BEC for that DJI 04 goodness and everything else. So I find it, as a 1S extreme toothpick idiot that I am, I like to do this stuff. So here I am filing down all the bits. Now Yves says from Fractal Engineering, he says to actually cut it all flush, then solder. I'm from Australia, so we do things successfully backwards down here. So I've soldered, then cut. Ripper. Testing the flight controller, a bit of paper for insulation. Thank you very much. USB connector, flashing lights, all good. Onboard ELRS. It's beautiful. Now the whole lining up schmozzle. Let's get all this lined up. There's a bit of a space from the solder of the USB port. Double side tape to the rescue. Do all this, line it all up. Get the soldering on. This is where we line up, solder the two boards together. Bottom board is the speed controller, top board is the flight controller. Let's get these pads down. There's a little space, 1/4 mil between them. Usually not a big fan of flux, but I'll use it here. Just want to minimize the amount of solder I'm using. That was a nasty blob, get rid of that. So you can see I'm sort of pushing in just to try and get in between the crack there. Away we go, away we go. Clean up and onto the power pads. Now I quickly realize here that the small tip for the soldering iron is not the way to go. It's just not enough heat transfer, as you can see by that horrible blob of solder. In with the larger chisel tip, and we get our work done. Propel, for goodness. Okay, so now we're moving on to something else. What are we doing? We're checking alignment. That's right, not very happy with that pin, Matt. Come on, what are you doing? Let's redo that. Lovely. Clean it up. Double check our work. This is all sped up, of course. I'm very slow in real life. Double check, triple check. Looks good, looks good. Now, power. Power, 1S toothpicks. If you really want to be pedantic about it, you can do the whole extra mile. I find XT30 plugs off AliExpress that are cheap and nasty. I cut them within an inch of their life to get them nice and small. And in this case as well, just getting a proper heat on that negative contact, and then a bit of trimming and a bit of shaping of the cables so it all looks nice, looking good. Where would we be in one of these solder videos if there wasn't some motor pad action? This is the last little bit of soldering montage, I think. Yes, after this we'll be back to the build. So going through all this here, soldered all up, getting across the other one. Let's get in some closer up action, I think. Do I zoom in here? Yes. Beautiful. All right, let's clean those pads up and get them all soldered. Thankfully, the SP8 has massive solder pads, and they're compatible with the little JST connectors if you wish to go that way, to put in the normal Whoop motor plugs and sockets. Although I'm a bit of a power puritan, direct solder for me, thank you. Stress testing the bend over of the cables there. I think this is the last pad. Nice and globby, shiny balls of solder. Oh, geez, crap that last one. Come on. Okay, now just a bit of tidying up the cables, cleaning up the contacts, double checking that there's no short anywhere. And now we're just doing a bit of cable management. Just like to try and press it down with a bit of a backward force so there's no real stress on those cables. Good, good. Okay, so here is the ring frame assembled. Walksnail 1S. We have the Fractal Engineering SP8 in there installed. 1S light camera. 1S V3 VTX. It's my typical mount where I have the VTX underneath and the flight controller on top. I've just found that setup just, survives. The VTXs survive better. when I've got the VTX down the bottom, be it HD0, Walk Snail, or even DGI 04 Lite, they just survive better. So I'm going to give this a rip now, see how we go. It's stiffer this way, so this movement out and in on the ring is stiffer, a lot of strength, and they're all weighing around the same, well, between 10 and 13 grams. They all vary a bit, but this one sits at about 11 and a half grams. And yeah, we'll give it a whirl.